Okay, this is not going to be a professional video in any way because probably nobody cares about this stuff except me. But I want to talk a little bit about the Rinnai hot water recirculation setup and some issues. This is with the Rinnai REP 199IN. I just put it in a few months ago. I've got a couple control panels. The main one that we use now is this RWM200. It's the latest Wi-Fi connected control panel. Once you do that, once you hook that up, the so-called smart controls that are inside the Rinnai for recirculation control shut off, which is good because anything that says smart control is probably not smart. And I'm not interested in this thing learning my hot water usage and trying to predict when I want recirculation to happen. So to get rid of that silly smart control stuff, you got to get some kind of a control panel. I started with this one back here, but that's not going to cut it, so I went to this one. For me in particular, I have one loop that goes down here and then up to the ceiling to the kitchen, and the return is right here. And I didn't plumb it perfectly right, but it's fine. So I'm going to show you in a minute. What I did was tape a temperature sensor right at the inlet of the water heater to monitor what the recirculation is doing. A couple things that I don't think are good. The recirculation seems to be triggered only by the temperature at the inlet. So if you have a loop that has, let's say, an uninsulated portion or goes by a cold portion of the wall or something, to me it seems like this is not going to be good. In other words, if it stays hot here, but it's cold somewhere else in the loop, you're not going to, this unit does not continually recirculate and make sure the entire loop is at the desired temperature. That's not good in my opinion. And I guess I can envision ways they could have done that differently. But admittedly, it's going to be more difficult with a tankless water heater than it would be with a tank water heater where you can continually recirc. So let me go upstairs now and talk about how I got the automation to work. Okay. Told you it wasn't going to be a professional video. This picture here shows the temperature at the inlet, and it's in Celsius, unfortunately, for us Americans. But you can see once you kick off a recirc operation, it recirculates, pump turns on, goes up to about 46 degrees C. I think that's around 115 or 120 or so, 115 I think, F. And then the burner shuts off, the recirculation stops, and the temperature will decay to a lower trip point, turn on again, heat up, circulate, drop down. So it kind of has a heat and then a coast mode. And it seems to go for about 15 minutes for one recirc operation. There's some blips here. I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway, that might have been because I turned the faucet on or something at that point. In any case, when you trigger a recirc operation, it does this pulsing, and you don't want to turn the recirculation on for the whole entire day because the burner has a warranty period in hours or days or whatever. So unlike recirc with a tanked water heater, which you can just run all the time and nobody cares, with tankless, at least the way Rinnai's done it, it's kind of subpar in my opinion. It does work, but it's got its issues. It'd be nice for you to understand if you're going to be a customer. So I mentioned I didn't want to have the smart recirc logic enabled because I don't think it's smart enough to know when our erratic schedule is going to work. I didn't want to have any schedule based on time of day either because the schedule is erratic. So it took me a long time to come up with a solution that seems to work, that is reasonably priced and fit in with my current setup in the house. You can buy motion sensors from Rinnai, but they appear to be like over $100, which just seems kind of ridiculous. So what I was able to do, because I have a home automation system in the home, I put a motion sensor by the sink in the kitchen. That's a Zigbee motion sensor. It communicates to my home automation system, which is called Habitat. Habitat is a very nice home automation system. It has all local control and is very fast and reliable. So I have the kitchen motion sensor here, and then this gets published over to Alexa. So if you go into the Amazon Echo skill, you would see that that motion sensor is made available to Alexa. Now it's no longer remote. I mean, no longer locally controlled. It now uses internet to continue the operation, but this is the best way I could find so far. So in the Alexa app, I set up a routine. I saw somebody else did this. I didn't invent this, but I set up a routine that says when kitchen motion detects, or when the kitchen motion sensor detects actual motion, then this routine will ask Alexa to ask for hot water. Control R for hot water. That works because that RWM200 control panel for Rinnai has Alexa integration. So far what happens is when you walk in the kitchen, my home automation system detects my motion. It publishes that motion over to Alexa. Alexa notices that motion and then asks the control panel in the basement next to the water heater to trigger a recirculation operation. One funny thing that seems to happen is Alexa wants to always acknowledge itself that it's so smart by speaking something to an actual Alexa unit. So I have a cheap Echo Dot that I didn't need anymore that now sits in a closet, and every time somebody walks in the kitchen it says, "I'm starting hot water recirculation." So it's very proud of itself, but it does make it so that any time of the day or night I walk in the kitchen, by the time I make it to the sink, the hot water is already present, and almost immediately when I turn on the faucet, I'll get actual hot water. So all this would be unnecessary if I just went with a tanked water heater. Frankly, if this house hadn't come with a Rinnai, which I then replaced with this new Rinnai, I would be perfectly happy with a water heater with a tank. There's so many things I dislike about a tankless water heater. But in case you have one and you want to automate this thing so that it doesn't run all the time and use up your warranty on the recirculation, yet you want to have hot water whenever you turn the hot water faucet on, like you should. You shouldn't have to push any buttons. You shouldn't have to do it at certain times a day. If you just want to have normal hot water like we should have in the 21st century, then this is one way you can do it. And I hope this video may help somebody. I suspect nobody else will really care. But in case you do, here you go. Thank you.